teacher Nathan from Writers at Work, and this afternoon, let's take a look at this ACS Junior paper, WA1 from 2023. It's a P6 paper, by the way. So let's look at some grammar questions first. Okay, let's take a look at question 1. My family and Dash visited the latest theme park in Malaysia and brought my younger sister Dash very own camera. Okay, so this question here is testing you on pronouns. Now, what are pronouns? Basically, pronouns are words that replace your nouns. So you are replacing your people, your animals, you're replacing Mary, Tom, the dog, the toy, etc. with some other words. So in this case here, some of the pronouns that are given to us include I, her, etc. Okay? So what is happening here? My family and Dash, so the author and the family is visited the theme park in Malaysia. So you can see visited here is a verb. It's an action that someone does. Okay, and in this case here, the family and the author themselves are engaging in this action. Therefore, this is considered a subject of the sentence. Next, if we look further down, we can see that sister has, she owns the camera here, right? So,
sorry, it's just that in an iPhone, it still looks a bit cut. So I'm gonna need to, just make this, slightly smaller. Let me see. Oh, correct. Okay, Ken.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what is happening is we're trying to show that the own camera here is owned by sister. Okay? Okay, let's tackle the first subject here first. I is a subject, whereas me is an object. Okay, so this object is not saying that me refers to some non-human, but rather it replaces the object of the sentence. Okay, the object of the sentence is the recipient of the action mentioned. Okay, now let's take a look at the second. Okay, so for this case here, because I'm looking at the subject, I'm only interested in I. Next, let's go on to this second blank here. We're trying to say that the younger sister owns the camera. Okay, so we have her and hers. What's the difference? For her, it's used before noun to show ownership. Whereas for hers, it's used to replace a noun. Hello, Gracie Lam. Good to see you again. Okay, so for this case here, you can see the own camera is a noun. And we're trying to show that sister owns this camera. It's before, this blank is before the noun. Therefore, my answer will be number 1. So when do we use hers? For example, the camera is hers. So in other words, hers needs to be at the back of the sentence, behind noun. Okay? So let me just repeat again. Her and hers, both of them are used to show ownership. But when do we use her? We use it before the noun. Hers is used to replace a noun. It will be behind. Okay? Where is Jia? Okay, he's not teaching today. Okay? Come, let's move on to number 2. The student, Dash older brother, is serving in the army. Looks forward to the weekends when his brother is at home. Okay, this question is testing you on pronouns again. Okay, but in this case, we are looking at relative pronouns. This includes your words like who, whom, and whose. Now, we're looking at two keywords. The first one is student. Okay, student here is a noun. It's a human being. Okay, Islam says number 3. Very good. Are there any more answers? Now, my second keyword is older brother. So this older brother is related to the student. Okay, so for this question, we need to use the possessive form. The possessive form, number 3, is used to show that relationship between two different elements in the sentence. Okay, and therefore this will be our answer. We're trying to show the relationship between older brother and the student. Okay, let's quickly run through the other options so that we learn. The first one is who. This is the subject form. So it is used to replace the subject of the sentence. Whom is in the object form. Therefore, it replaces the object of the sentence. Lastly, whoever. Whoever just tells me that I can select any person. For example, I can say, whoever is free, go and help the teacher carry the books. So I'm not specifically pointing to any student. I'm just saying in general. Okay? Now, for those of you who have joined later and you'll be wondering, how do I identify the subject and the object of the sentence? Well, it is very easy. Let me just give you a quick example here. I heard my brother cry. So you can see heard here is the verb, is the action. So who is the one engaging in this action of hearing? I. So I is the subject of the sentence. And who is the one creating the noise that allows the author to hear? Brother. Okay, so this will be our object of the sentence. Okay, so from this, once you identify your subject and object of the sentence, that is where you are able to determine the correct pronoun to use. Okay. Now take a look at number 3. The security guard inspects the entire school compound before locking up for the day. There she asked Mr. Wong. Okay, this is a very common question tag kind of question. The first thing that we observe is the word inspects, because this is in present tense. Yep, very good. Islam. That's the correct answer. Give me a moment. No, number 3 is not the correct answer. Okay, let me just explain why. Okay, just follow along. Inspects, as mentioned earlier, is a present tense. Okay, we have another answer, number 1. No, number 1 is not the answer either. Look at the keyword. Inspects is present tense. Didn't is used for past tense. In one sentence, we can only have one tense. Am I right? Now, let's take a look at my other 3 options. Shan't. Shan't is the equivalent of shall not. This is in future tense. That means the action will only take place in the future, sometime maybe Monday or Tuesday, right? Then we have hasn't and doesn't. Okay. Has here is is in present tense. It means that you own something. He has a dog. He owns a dog. He has a car. He owns the car. While doesn't here is present tense, but it shows a completed action. Okay, so as what Gracie Lam 84 has pointed out, that will be our answer, number 4. Okay. Before locking up for the day. Okay, when we look at this kind of question tag question, okay, we need to look at the word which we are going to, because a question tag question has a negative and positive connotation, right? Does and does not. So in this case, we need to identify where is this does component. Where does this exist? Then we will determine the back part. So if we read the whole sentence, the question is, this Mr. Wong is asking whether the security guard completes the inspection first. Am I right? The question is whether SG for security guard completes inspection, correct? The question is not whether the security guard locks up for the day. Can you see where I'm coming from? We need to ask ourselves, what is this question Mr. Wong is asking? Is he asking whether the security guard inspects the entire school compound? Or is Mr. Wong asking whether the security guard locks the school up for the day? Okay, if we observe closely, Mr. Wong is interested to know whether the security guard does this inspection. As such, we will not consider this extra info here. I'm just interested in the question Mr. Wong is asking. So in this case here, if it's inspects, I can tell myself it's present tense. So what are some words that I can use? So I take a look. Present tense, has inspect, cannot. Has must go with inspected. So if the word here is inspect, then it can be the security guard does inspect. Then at the back it will be doesn't he. Okay, so this is how we derive my answer. This kind of question tag question, like number 3 here, is slightly more challenging because it doesn't give you the positive or negative connotations straight up to you. You need to look at the question and ask yourself first. Okay, I'm going to sum up. Firstly, what is the question? There are many pieces of information here, but we need to know what is important, and that's what we need to focus on. Secondly, we ask ourselves what is the tense, which is related to this first part. So we are interested in the particular action somebody is doing. Okay? I hope this answers your question, Islam. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at number 4 now. Not only dash this birthday cake, she also delivered it to my house last evening. Okay, so this question is a very common tenses question. Okay, we have our friend who say number 3. Okay, are there any more answers? Okay, number 1. Okay, let's observe the question keywords first. We observe that she delivered it. Okay, Gracie Lam says number 4. Okay, take a look at the question first. There's this making of the birthday cake, the baking, this action 1, followed by your delivery. Okay, Gracie Beauty says number 3. Okay, so I want everybody to take note first. My first action here must be completed first. Then I can put the cake nicely in the box and I deliver it. Last evening is past tense. Okay, yes, very good. Last evening here is also past tense. Good observation. Okay, but I want everybody to remember action 1 here and action 2, both of them took place in the past. Am I right? Present tense, if you look at my timeline, I need to bake the cake first. Finish baking already, then I can deliver it. Am I right? So in this case, action 1 and action 2 did not take place together. Okay, I repeat again. Action 1 and action 2 did not take place together. Is action 1 finished already, then I can start action 2 and finish action 2. So in this case here, it cannot be not only she baked the birthday cake and delivered it, because the two actions did not take place at the same time. Therefore, my option 1, which is in the past tense, will be out. Next, does she bake? All of us know this definitely doesn't make sense. Present tense, does. But my whole sentence is in past tense, out. Okay, now I have some friends who say number 4. Was she baking? Okay, was baking. This is known as your past continuous tense. That means you're trying to show people that the action was ongoing sometime in the past. Now, some of you may be saying, looks quite familiar, huh? Action ongoing in the past. Birthday cake baking did occur in the past, right? But no. When do we use past continuous tense? It is to highlight that when action 1 was occurring as she was baking the cake, action 2 took place. So action 1 did not, if we are going to use number 4, I repeat again, if we are using number 4, it means that your baking cake must take place over some time when the second action of delivering occurred. You ask yourself, if you bake the cake halfway, can you bring the oven and pass it to the other person? No, it doesn't make sense. So in this case here, option 4 is also out. Now, okay, everybody immediately choose option 2 because I didn't talk about it yet, right? Now, option 2 is the answer. Okay, but why is it so? Because if we say did bake, it shows that it is a completed action. Okay, and this completed action took place in the past because the word did. It has this element of past, the action completed in the past. Okay, but because did here shows that this action has taken place in the past and is completed in the past. Okay, so it satisfies my timeline. Can you see my timeline here? The baking needs to take place and finish in the past before the delivery occurred. And action 1 and action 2 both must take place in the past. Can you see? That's why I use number 2 as my answer. Okay, this is slightly more challenging. So thank you so much guys for following and also giving your answers. It's good that you make the mistakes now so that we can learn and we don't make the same mistakes in exams, okay? Now moving on to number 5. Not one of the current students dash of the first principal of the school. Okay, this question here is tenses once again. Alright, and there are a few things that we observe. Not one. Okay, so that means 0. No students have heard of the principal before. So when we have nobody, we need to use a singular form. Now, the next thing we also is first principal. This first principal probably retired already. Okay? It's very unlikely that this first principal still exists in the school. Probably he retired or he left the post. Now, with these two keywords in mind, let's take a look at my options. Okay, Islam say number 2. Are there any more answers? 2 or 3, okay? Okay, Gracie Lam say number 3. Alright, let's look at number 2 and 3 first. First one is here's. Here's he is present tense and singular. But take note, first principal. Is the first principal still in his post or has he left the school? Okay, Gracie Beauty say number 3. Okay, so for this case here, our answer would be number 3. Because has heard is in the perfect tense. Present perfect tense, okay? So we are looking at how my action is already completed, but the effect is still felt. Okay? Now, why do I say that the action has been completed? It's because somebody must not have because the students in the past, they may not have heard of the principle before. That is why now we can come out with this statement in the present. Okay, so the completed action here is how the students were unaware of the first principle. Can? That's why our answer is number 3. Now let's take a look. Here is present tense and plural. Well, have heard, this is also in the present perfect tense, just that it's plural. Okay? Now we can see that these grammar questions here are actually not really the most straightforward. Okay? But don't be worried. Okay, this paper is slightly more challenging. So I hope that you don't feel so scared when doing P6 questions. Okay? I'll just give everyone some time to take in the information. If you are unsure of anything, you please sound out. Okay, this is the best time to clarify before your exams. Okay, let's go on. Take a look at number 6. Every year at our Chinese New Year reunion dinner with our relatives, my eldest uncle will insist paying for the meal at the restaurant. Okay, this question is testing you on prepositions. Now, what are prepositions? Prepositions are words that convey the meaning of the height, the location, the relationship between different objects. Okay, we have one answer, number 3. Any more answers? Okay, you can see here the insistence is elaborated here. Paying for the meal. So the uncle want to do this particular activity and will force everybody to agree that he does the paying. Okay, I see everyone put number 3. Very good. The answer here is number 3. Because insist on is what we call a collocation. Collocation means that the words that come together. And this means that you demand to do something. Okay, Islam, the answer is number 3. Insist on. They are like twinnies. They need to come together, like best friends like that. Okay. Okay, when we do use in is used to show position. So we'll say like he is in the house. Okay, it's to tell people, where the person is located at. Number 2, as. This is a conjunction. So this is used to link different pieces of information together. And this is used to show concurrent activities. That means the activities are taking place together. All right. And lastly, when we use with is what we use to show two things are together with one another. Okay. Now, some other commonly tested words. Okay, just take note. They include things like look forward. What's the next word? What's the preposition? It's always look forward to. That means you are very excited about something. Next, when you apologize, that means you say sorry. It needs to be always accompanied by for. Apologize for being late. All right. Okay, question 7 is number 3. Okay, very good. Islam, you're fast. Okay, let's take a look at number 7. The number of teenagers enrolling for the youth camp since last year. Okay, this is a tenses question. And the first thing that we observe is over here. Since last year. Okay, we have number 2, we have option number 3. Since last year, that means my action is already completed. Next thing we observe is number of teenagers. So this is singular. I'm just looking at the quantity, right? Now let's take a look at number 2 and number 3 first. Number 2 is known as our present perfect tense. So when do we use present perfect? It's used to show that my action is completed, but my effect is still felt. Okay, and number 3, had reason. This is in the past perfect tense. When do we use past perfect? It's used to show that my one action occurred before second action took place. Okay, so may I ask, our friends online, are there 2 actions in this question? So I'm looking at 2 different verbs. Are there 2 verbs in this question? Well, our answer is no, because I'm only looking at the number of teenagers enrolling. This is my only verb. Okay, so in this case here, it cannot be number 3 because number 3 needs 2 actions that occur in the past. So our answer here will be number 2. It cannot be have reason because I'm looking at the number of teenagers. I'm just looking at the number, right? So I'm looking at is it 4 teenagers, 6 teenagers is a figure, which is singular. If I say the teenagers enrolling for the youth camp, then it will be have, because teenagers is plural. But if I'm looking at number of teenagers, then this thing is singular. Okay? Now, when do we use had reason? Let me give you an example. The number of teenagers had reason before the camp committee cancelled the camp. You see, this example sentence is different because I have 2 actions, cancelling the camp and the numbers had risen. So in this case, you can see my first action, the number of teenagers joining the camp increased. Once the number increased already, then my second action occurred, which is the camp committee cancelled the camp. So can you see there are 2 actions that occurred in the past, one after the other. That is where I can use past perfect. But for my sentence, look at number 7, they don't have these 2 verbs, these 2 actions occurring. There's only one action, which is the number of teenagers enrolling. Therefore, my answer would be number 2. Okay? Come, let's take a look at number 8 now. Dash, you need to see the dental nurse. Please take note that she is only on duty on Monday and Wednesdays, the teacher announced. Okay, so this question here is testing you on modal auxiliary verbs. Okay, I have someone says number 3. Islam is not saying number 3. Are there any more answers? Okay, for this question here, the keyword is see the dental nurse. So why do you need to see the dental nurse? Probably because you have toothache, you have some problem with your teeth, right? So this is something which is quite urgent, something that needs attention, needs somebody to quickly see and quickly treat you. Okay, our friend, there's another guy that say number 4. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. When do you use would? Would is used to offer advice. Okay, well, should, as what our another friend said, shows that there's a need to do something. Okay, so in this case, the need to see the dental nurse is quite urgent. All right, therefore my answer will be number 4. Should you need to see the dentist? She's available on Monday and Wednesdays. Now, when do we use would? Would you like some water? The waiter asked. So I'm trying to offer something to you. It could be food or it can be advice. Would you like to go for tuition classes? It will help you improve your English. I'm trying to offer somebody an advice. Why cannot use might? Okay, might here is used to show probability of something. So for example, I see the dark clouds and I say, it might rain tonight. Okay, so might here is used to show that something is uncertain, but it could happen. Can? Could here is used to make requests. Could I use the computer for a while? Sister asked me. Okay. Are there any more questions regarding this? Okay, let's take a look at number 9 now. Dash the prefix help. The Christmas gift packs could not be packed in time for distribution at the children's home the next day. Okay, so this question here tests you on conjunctions. What are conjunctions? Basically, they are words that link different pieces of information together. Okay, I have number 2 and number 3. Are there any more answers? Now, we need to take a look at two things. Number 1, prefix help. That means all the prefix, a lot of them come together to help, right? Then we see another thing. The gift packs could not be packed in time. So we are saying that everybody try their best. So we expect the gifts to be done, but no, the gifts could not be cannot be finished packing, right? So there's some kind of contrast. It's like you try your best, but you still fail. So let's take a look. I've option 1, 2, 3. Some people suggested as their answers. Now, despite and although, these two are used to show contrast. So I'm going to zoom in on either option 1 or option 2. Now, someone says option 3. Regardless here means you never without considering something. So when do I use regardless? Regardless of where you stay, there is no excuse for being late for school. So I'm telling people that, I don't care which part of Singapore you stay, you cannot be late for school without considering my location. Okay, so this is not considered for our question here, because we are here to use, we are interested in a contrast. Now, when do we use despite and when do we use although? We need to be very careful also. When you want to use despite, it needs to be followed by a noun. Okay, what is a noun? Noun is basically an object. Cat, dog, Mary. It also can refer to a particular event, right? Despite the downpour, despite the injury, a particular event. Although needs to be followed by your noun and a verb. So I need an action plus a noun. Let's take a look at our sentence, this first part, before the comma. Do we have a verb and a noun? No, we don't have. We are only having prefix help. The help over here is a particular event when all the prefix state back after school to help. Okay, if you say that action is help. No, for this question here, the action is not help. The help here is used as a noun. We are trying to show that all the prefix were doing something together. Okay? So in this case here, I will use despite. Can? The gift packs could not be packed in time. Yes, this is a verb, but remember, I need to only see the first piece of information before the comma. Okay, when I want to use either despite or although, I need to consider this first part in green before the comma. I don't care behind my comma what other pieces of information are there. Okay, but if I want to use the conjunction, I only take a look at the information before my comma. Now, why is action? Action is help. Help is not a verb here. When I want to have a verb, this is how the sentence will look like. I help my brother with his homework. Now, this one, the help here is a verb. Why? Because I have a subject as well as the object. So I tell people, I help. So who's the receiving end of the help? Brother. Who is the one doing the action? I. Can you see over here? Does this format fit here? Prefix help. Did the sentence go on to say the prefix help the poor, help the children's home? No. It's only at the very back of the sentence then they say. It's not immediately after the help. So in this case here, my help will not be the verb, will not be the action. Can you understand? So I will say that this question is slightly more challenging, especially with these despite and although options. But we need to be very clear on two things. Firstly, we need to know when to use despite and when to use although. So I repeat again, if you want to use despite, the first part of the sentence before the comma must only have a noun. When you want to use although, there needs to be a noun and a verb. So for example, I say although the prefix spent the whole afternoon helping to pack the gifts, then the gifts could not be packed in time, then can, because they spent the whole afternoon and it's the prefix. So you can see that there are two different elements here, my noun as well as my verb. Then I can use although. For this question here, don't have noun, don't have the noun and verb together. That's why I cannot use. Can? It's a bit challenging, but time to time there will be prelim papers that will have these two options together. And you need to know when to use them. Okay, come, let's take a look at number 10, last question. Yeah. The backpackers had dash money left and could not afford the plane tickets to their next destination. So this is a determiner question. What are determiners? Determiners show the quantity of something. Okay, so for our keyword, we're looking at money. Okay, so money here is uncountable. Next thing, they could not afford the plane ticket, which shows that I have very low quantity. That's why I cannot buy the plane ticket. Now we have number 3 and someone say number 1. Few here is used for countable and low quantity. Little is uncountable and low quantity. Okay, so let's go back again. Money is uncountable. So our answer would be number 3, little. No, money is not countable. Money is uncountable. I have a few pieces of $2 notes. Yes, this is countable. But money, like putting in effort, they cannot be counted. Okay? The question needs to be very specific. They show you a few pieces of notes, a few coins, then can. Okay? Very good. Islam. So let me test everybody. How about luggage? Again, luggage is also uncountable. But if I say a few pieces of luggage, can, then this one is countable. Okay? So please be very careful. I'll just give everybody some time to take in the information first. If you have any questions, any concerns, please type them in the chat. Then we'll talk about them. All right? Okay, moving on further. Is it break now? Yeah, a short break to rest my voice. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, come, let's take a look at some vocabulary now. Look at question 11. My father had been feeling dash and could not go for his usual evening jog yesterday. Alright, so this question here is saying that the father wasn't feeling very well. That's why could not go for his evening jog. Feeling sick. Okay, someone says number 2. Are there any more answers? Number 3. Okay, number 2, under the weather means that someone is feeling unwell. As strong as an ox means someone is very strong. If father was feeling very strong, he would have gone for his usual jog, right? He would have the strength to do it, but no. The question says he could not go. Please be very careful. So this suggests that probably father was not well. Okay, so the answer is number 2. Come, let's quickly look at the other idioms here. On the mend. On the mend means someone is improving in health. So there needs to be some clue to show that maybe the person was recovering from maybe a surgery, an injury, then can. As red as beetroot, this is used to show that someone is embarrassed. Usually the face is as red as beetroot. Can? Look at number 12. The restaurant manager tried his best to dash the angry diners, who had to wait longer than usual before their dishes were served. Okay, so this question here, we are looking at how the restaurant manager had to make the angry diners less angry. Okay, we have number 4. Are there any more answers? Okay, number 4 here, alleviate, means that you make suffering less severe. So for example, the doctor gives the patient some painkillers to alleviate his toothache. So it needs to be must be some pain, some suffering or pain involved, then you can use. You look at the question, are the diners in pain? No, they are just hungry, right? So in this case, the answer here would be number 3, placate. Placate means you want to make someone less angry. So for example, the restaurant manager maybe give the diner some discount, or maybe he brought some nuts for them to eat first so that they will not be so hungry while waiting for their meal. Can? So the answer here is number 3. Okay, let's take a look at number 1 and 2 quickly. Relief. Relief means cause pain to be less severe. Okay, and belief here is used to say that you accept something is true without proof. Okay? Moving on, let's take a look at number 13. A cup of tea is a good dash to a piece of cake for dessert. So we are looking at how the tea and the cake, these two food items, they go well together. It's like you drink tea with the cake. Maybe it's very tasty. It is nice. Okay, it's like good food for together. Okay, someone says Islam say number 2. Are there any more answers? Okay, be very careful. Okay, just take note. Complement 2 and 4, they actually sound the same, but the meaning is different. Okay, so number 2, what our friend Islam mentioned, it actually means you are praising somebody. Okay, I think what he is referring to is number 4, compliment. Okay, because this refers to a feature that improves the quality of another. Okay, it's like how the two different elements like are good to be used together at the same time. So our answer for question 13 actually is number 4, compliment. Can? Look at number 1 and number 3 now. Okay, we are learning all the vocab together. Number 1, enrichment. Enrichment here means that you improve the value of something or the quality of something. This is the reason why your parents may send you for enrichment classes. That means they want to improve, let's say, your English standards. Number 3, supplement. Supplement is basically an extra element added to something. So you could say you eat supplements after every meal to keep yourself healthy. So maybe some vitamin, some extra things, to make you strong. All right. Now moving on further, let's take a look at number 14. During the Christmas sale, Jenny Dash bought many items. She regretted it later. So there are a few things to take note. She regretted. That means probably the buying of the things she did not think before buying. Okay, someone say number 4, someone say number 1. Okay, let's go through. Impulsively means that you do not consider effects of your action. So you don't care whether your actions cause pain or cause suffering to other people. You just do. Compulsively, number 4 means that you do too much and you are unable to stop something. Okay, so in this case here, you can see that she regretted because she did not think of the action. Then probably she do not have a lot of money left in the bank account, right? So in this case, our answer would be number 1. If it's compulsively, it cannot be you compulsively block many unnecessary things and regret. It could be that she was a compulsive shopper. We are trying to highlight that she keep buying a lot of things. Okay, so compulsively needs to go together with your buying. And there needs to be evidence that she is unable to stop. Okay? Okay, let's take a look at number 2 and 3. Repulsively. Repulsive means something is very unpleasant. It could be the smell. It also could be like somebody's behavior is very repulsive. That means very rude and probably a lot of people hate, the person's behavior. Persuasively, number 3. So this means that you are in a way that makes you believe in something. Okay? Now let's take a look at number 15. You have been selected to participate in a dash bowling competition. The teams come from different schools in Singapore. Okay, this one's quite straightforward. Different schools in Singapore. That means you are just competing with people of Singapore. Basically, you are competing with Singaporeans, just one nation. Okay, now look at the options. First one is local. Local means you restricted to one's neighborhood. Okay, number 2, national. National means that you're just referring to one country. Regional means just one part of the world. International means the whole world. Because from different countries. No, it's just from different schools. Where is it from different countries? Islam. Okay, I can see there are a few other answers coming in. Gracie Lam 84 says number 2. Yes. For this question, the answer will be number 2. because you are looking at different parts of Singapore. Okay, the keywords that are highlighted in green. Yeah, very good, Adrian. Yeah, there's nowhere that says different countries. Okay, Islam. Need to be very careful in your choosing of answer. Okay, I just give everybody some time to take in the information, and we'll move on in a short while, 1 to 2 minutes time. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at our vocabulary close now. Oh, sorry, there's still 5 more vocab questions. Just remember, this is not a SA2 paper. Okay, look at 16. Brisk walking is part of grandma's daily dash. She gets upset if we change it. Okay, the keyword here is daily. That means you're looking at how this is part of the some activities that needs to be done in a particular order every day. And she'll get upset. That means she's very used to it, used to walking, right? Brisk walking. Okay, I have number 3 as my answer from Islam. Are there any more answers? Okay, I see. There's number 3 coming from Islam. Let me see if there are any more answers. Okay, routine here. Number 3 is the usual fixed way of doing activities. Okay. Okay, Adrian and Bei Lui say that is number 3 as well. Okay, for this case here, our answer is routine. Very good. Now let's quickly look at the other options to learn as well. Yeah. The first one is cycle. Cycle is a series of events that happen. Regularly. So maybe we always say water cycle. That means water to the clouds, rain come down. It's this cycle that continuously takes place. Second option is route. Route is basically the way from start point to destination. Then we have sequence. Sequence basically talks about the order in which things are related. Things happen. For example, you need to take the bread from the supermarket shelf. Then you go to the cashier. The cashier need to scan first, then you can pay. This is a sequence when you go to the supermarket. Can? Look at number 17 now. The rescue workers spent days and nights saving victims from the dash of the collapsed buildings. So the keyword here is collapsed building. So when your building collapse, you know, like your Lego, everything drop, you'll just be in small little pieces, right? So basically, we are looking at those small pieces of what you call rubble. Okay, Adrian say number one. Are there any more answers? Okay, what is number one? Debris. So debris over here refers to the scattered pieces of remains. Okay, Mercy Boku say number one also. Okay, any other answers? Okay, let's take a look at the other options also, yeah? Second one is remnants. Remnants refer to the small piece from larger original piece. Okay, then we have shambles. Shambles means something is in disorder. Okay, we are not referring to any small pieces or anything, we're just referring to the whole building in shambles. That is very disordered. Fragments means a small part broken off or something. So the something is still a big piece. The fragment is just that small little element. Okay, so in this case here, it cannot be because the whole building collapsed already. So there isn't the bigger piece, the something. All right. So in this case, yes, our answer will be number one, debris. Remains. When you talk about small piece from the original piece, this original piece should not have broken off. Okay. Very good, Adrian and Mercy Boku. I hope everybody's following so far. If anyone has questions, please sound out in the chat. Yeah. Okay, if there are no further questions, let's take a look at number 18. To dash the tension between two friends, James cracked a joke. Okay, so over here, we're looking at how the tension basically needs to be decreased. That's why James cracked a joke. So when it's funny, people don't hate one another. People do not become so serious. People are less serious. Okay? So in this case here, let's take a look at my options. Okay, the first one is diffuse. So diffuse here means you make a situation less tense, less dangerous. Deflate. This means that you let the gas out of something. So maybe you can say you deflate a balloon. That means you just pump out all the air out of the balloon. Okay, Adrian say number one. Are there any more answers? Islam also say number one. Okay, number three is decline. Decline means something become lesser, the quantity drop. Maybe the population of the bird species. Okay, Uno. Okay, Bailey say is number one also. Lastly, deplete means that you use up the resource. Okay, very good. It seems that there's only one answer that everyone agrees on. So the answer is diffuse. Okay, very good. You can see the questions are getting slightly easier. This time it was really very, very difficult. Everybody had an answer that is different, yeah? Okay, let's take a look at number 19. Not wanting to alert his parents of his late arrival, John entered the house dash. Okay, so you can see, you don't want to alert his parents. So probably he's doing something very quietly, right? Like in a secretive way. Okay, let's take a look at my options. The first one is steadily. So steadily here means something is done gradually or at a regular rate. Okay, Beilui say number 4, Adrian say number 4. Okay, let's go to number 4 first. Stealthily. This means that you are doing something very quietly and carefully in order not to be heard. Okay, very good. Islam also say number 4. Good. So for this case, our answer is number 4. Because John doesn't want to let his parents know that, he came home very late. Okay, let's quickly look at my option 2 and 3. Option 2 is securely. Securely means that you are trying to avoid something from being at risk. So usually we can say that you transfer the money securely. That means you don't want people to like hack into your bank account and steal the money. So you need to use, for example, a legitimate banking app, to transfer your money securely. Okay? Speedily means very fast, very quick. Okay? Now let's move on to number 20. Among his dash contributions to the art scene, the prolific artist is best known for the mother and child bronze sculpture in front of the National Museum. Okay. Islam say number 4. Very good, very fast. Are there any more answers? You can see prolific means that someone is very famous. He must have done a lot of things, put in a lot of effort for the art scene. So people know his name, they support him. That's why he's famous, right? Now you can look at it, we are looking at contribution. So we are looking at how, he put in a lot of contributions, high quantity of contributions, right? Let's look at my options. The first one is barren. Barren means that your land is too poor to produce any vegetation, to produce crops. Okay, Adrian and Bailey Louis say number 4 as well. Very good. Are there any more answers? Let's take a look at number 4 first. Abundant means something is in large quantities. Sufficient means there's only enough. Not a lot, not too little. Adequate means something is acceptable. Again, it's not too much also. Okay, very good, everyone. So our answer here is number 4. Okay, good job, Gracie Lam also. Abundant contributions. Can I just give everyone some time to take in the information here first before we move on to our next part. Okay. Yeah, it's already been 1 hour. We just cleared the MCQ. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much for your questions. I'm very glad that a lot of people ask questions today, because I rather that we clarify our doubts and we know where we go wrong before we actually go for our exams. It doesn't make sense to lose marks in exam when you can learn from our free TikTok lessons. Okay, come. Let's take a look at our synthesis and transformation question here. Look at number 21. You need to obey the rules of the competition or you will be disqualified. Then they give you the word unless. Unless here tells me that I need to fulfill a certain criteria. Okay? And the criteria will be at the back. The start of the sentence will be my outcome. So look at my original sentence again. You observe that the criteria is here. You obey the rules, then you can participate. Don't obey rules, you get disqualified. So usually the outcome will be in the negative connotation, while the criteria will be in the positive connotation. As such, my answer would be you will be disqualified unless you obey the rules of the competition. Okay? You will be disqualified. Yeah, Islam. I think maybe you type too quickly. Unless there's no if, yeah. Unless you obey the rules of the competition. Don't have unless if you obey. Take note. Okay, some of you may be asking, what about if I say you will not be disqualified unless you do not obey the rules? Well, don't go and usually your criteria will be something that you follow, right? So give me the positive connotation. You obey the rules, positive connotation. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at number 22. The search and rescue officers found the survivors of the fire accident in the factory storeroom. Okay, this is what we call active to passive voice. So in other words, the subject and the object of your active sentence will be swapped around. So how do we know what are the subject and object of the sentence? We look at the verb first. The verb is found. Who is the one that find the survivor? Search and rescue officer. So this is the subject of the sentence. Survivor here is the object. They are the recipient of the search and rescue officer's actions, right? So in this case, what is happening is the object of our original sentence would be the subject of my new sentence. So it will be the survivors of the fire accident were found by the SAR search and rescue officers in the factory storeroom. Can? Okay, so in other words, what we are doing here is we are just reorganizing the sentence. You can see my purple and yellow highlights, the order is just flipped around. The survivors of the fire accident were found in the search and rescue officers in the factory. Yep, very good, Adrian. It's a very straightforward question. I will not dwell too much on it. Look at number 23. You will have to put on your school uniform after your recess, Mr. Tan said to his students. Okay, this is a very tricky question. Okay, before that, let's take a look at Islam answer. So the fire accident in the survivors of the fire accident. No, Islam in the storeroom needs to be at the end of the sentence. Okay. Why must it be at the end of the sentence? Because this shows a particular location. So you are trying to tell people that the action by the survivors and search and rescue officers took place somewhere. That's why you notice in the factory storm is also at the end of the sentence for our original one, because it shows location. Location must always be at the back. Can? Now let's go on to question 23. Now I've said earlier that this is a direct speech and we're changing to a reported speech. They are very tricky questions. So what happens? What do I do? Usually I would take note of the changes first. I'll edit on my original sentence. Then I write it in my new sentence. Okay. So Mr. Tan told his students that first is they would have to put on their school uniform after their recess. Okay. So Mr. Tan told his students that they would have to put on the school uniform after their recess. Students that they would have to put on their school uniform after their recess. Adrian, you missed out the word. Please be careful. Okay, students that they have to. Islam, they would have to. Your will needs to change. Yeah, you cannot drop the words. Yep. Can? Very good. Just hope everybody, I mean, because maybe you are typing and the sentence is on the screen, so it's a bit difficult to see. But when we go for exams, please be very careful. Don't drop the words. Once you drop the word means you drop 1 mark already. This kind of marks you cannot lose. Okay, let's take a look at number 24 now. Enzo visited the old town in Australia. He was born there. Okay, so very straightforward. The old town is the location of his birth. So it will just be Enzo visited the old town in Australia. Where he was born. Okay? It's a very straightforward question. Okay, let's take a look at number 25. The robber was able to get away. Everyone was cowardly to stop him. Okay, due to is used to show cause and effect. So what is the cause? The cause is everybody was scared. They were cowardly. As a result, the robber was able to escape. So this is my effect. Okay, so it will be due to everyone's cowardice to stop the robber. He was able to get away. Okay, so I need to point out to everybody 2 things. Number 1, cowardly. This is what we call an adverb, because we are looking at the manner in which people behave, right? But now what we are changing to is from that adverb, we are going to change to a adjective. You're trying to describe everybody being scaredy cat. Okay, so that's the change in word form. Now, some of my students actually say, Cher, the word cowardice very chim. They don't know, they never hear of the word before. I give you a simple alternative answer. Due to the fact that everyone was cowardly. Wait, let me see. To stop the robber, he was able to get away. Everyone's there's no such thing as cowardness, yeah? Islam, no such thing as cowardness. We need to know what is the correct word form. Okay? So for this case here, we are describing everybody's behavior as scaredy cat. It will be called cowardice, not cowardness. Okay, so our friends here, my point is you may not know the word cowardice. It's perfectly okay. Alright? But what you need to know is, number 1, learn this new word today. Cowardice. Number 2, in the exam, let's say you don't know the word cowardice or you don't know how to change it, you can just say due to the fact that, then you copy down the thing. Okay, if that is easier for you, please learn the alternative answer. Can? I'll just leave my screen here for a bit. You can take a look at my answers. If you have any questions, you can sound out to me. Okay? Okay, it seems that I have some time. And are there any more questions? If not, I want to move on already. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay. Okay, let's have a bit more practice for our synthesis and transformation. So last week, we didn't have time to finish going through our SEGS paper. There's still the synthesis and transformation. So maybe with the 15 minutes that we still have 15 more minutes before we go for a break. We can look at some more synthesis questions. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who are wondering why I skip all the way to synthesis, it's because last week I went through this paper. I went through the MCQ and a bit of the section B. Just that we didn't have time to look at synthesis. Okay. If you think that if you're enjoying the learning with me, you can always log on to our Writers at Work TikTok at 3 p.m. I'll be there and we'll be looking at P6 papers until 6:15. I thought we finished. Yeah, we finished the weighted assessment 1 paper, but we still have time, right? That's why I want to go through something else. So at least your time spent with us will not be wasted. Okay, let's take a look quickly at this question 66. David can only go to the park to play after he completes his homework. Okay, then they give you the word must. Must here is used to show that there's a need to do something, right? So for this question here, it will be what's the need to do something? Might have synthesis completed in SEGS paper. Okay. Okay, then let me check with Adrian. Is your vocabulary, is your comprehension close completed? This one on the bread run. Okay, very good. Then we look at this bread run now. Okay, so at least Adrian, you can have a more complete set. Okay, bread run is a program by Food from the Heart, a food charity that feeds the needy in Singapore. It was born from a newspaper article about bakeries discarding their unsold bread. Upon reading the article, the founders of Food from the Heart, Christine and Henry Lamer, spotted and dashed to make the most out of the situation. Okay, first thing that we observe is here, make the most out of the situation. This is describing what they saw. Okay, then we observe that there's also the word and. So that means the next word needs to be a vowel. Very good, Adrian. So you will say it's an opportunity. Although it was an uphill dash to convince bakeries to donate their unsold bread, the couple persevered. Okay, you can see that they describe it as uphill and they had to persevere. That means they have to, put in their effort, don't give up easily. Okay, so usually we will say uphill struggle. But if you want to describe this as a particular task, something that you need to complete, you can also say uphill task. Okay? What is You mean struggle? Islam. Eventually, some bakeries dash incurring additional work and staff duties agreed. Okay, you can see two things here. They have additional work, but they still agree. Okay, who's this matrix uphill battle? Ken, very good. So we are looking at this action, right, being very difficult. Okay, that's why we will use words like battle or struggle. Very good. Okay, looking at 53 now, we observe there's additional work and duties. That means additional things to be done in the bakery, but people agreed. So these two information show some kind of contrast. Yep, very good. Adrian will use the word despite. Okay. Involvement in the bread program dash steadily from only a few bakeries to 111 bakeries. Okay, so you can see that the numbers increased, right? Okay, the number of volunteers increased as well. So for question 54, we'll say that the involvement, okay, very good. You can say it progressed. Or you could say that the involvement increased steadily. Okay? Improve steadily. Okay, if I'm a lenient marker, I'll also give you marks for improved. Okay, but usually in this case, we'll look at increased or progress because there is that element of quantity. Because I also can say I improve my behavior, but there's no quantity there. You get what I mean? It's a bit like your countable and uncountable question just now that we discussed. Okay, but I'll still accept for this case. The typical bread run involves bakery staff setting dash the unsold items at the end of the day before dash them individually to ensure food safety. Okay, so you can see the unsold items are being separated. They are put at one side, right? And we have the word setting. So question 55 is testing you on a phrasal verb. Okay, yeah, very good, Adrian. You set aside. That means, I separate this to say that, oh, I want to donate this particular bread to the charity. Before dash them individually. So individual here refers to how you are putting the bread in a particular way, right? So in this case, you'll be packing them individually. Okay, Islam say giving them individually. Okay, sorry, I didn't point out to everybody. You ensure food safety. So when it talks about food safety, it's probably still in the bread shop. They haven't distributed out to the charity yet, so it cannot be giving. Can follow? Now let's look at number 57. These are passed to the volunteer bread runner. Dash comes around at the closing time. Okay, you can see this volunteer bread runner, he's a human being. And he comes around, so he's engaging the action, right? So we'll use the word who, which is used for non-humans. Okay, but in this case, bread runner is a human. The bread is dash immediately delivered to the location where the bread will be distributed. Okay, can you see that we are looking at, this is the second action. The first action is the bread runner collect the bread here. So when you talk about how this is a second action, we'll say there is almost, it is, cannot be almost, because almost and immediately, their meaning is the same. Yep, IDK, the answer is then. Is then immediately delivered. Okay? Or you can say it's always immediately delivered. So we are looking at two different actions, one after the other. Okay? The delivery of the bread dash completed by volunteers every day of the year. Now look at this. Delivery is a singular subject. So the answer will be is completed. Every day also tells you it's a habit, so we use present tense. Okay, be it rain or dash. So this is a what we call a collocation, rain or shine. Very good. So that means these are the words that need to come together. Collocation. Okay. Rain or wind. No. We are looking at two different kind of weather. Rainy weather, sunny weather. Okay. So no have wind. Each volunteer is assigned a delivery route that dash the pickup of bread from the bread run partners and drop off of bread at distribution points across Singapore. So we are looking at how the delivery route comprise of the pickup as well as the drop off location. Okay, so we are looking at how these two are part of your delivery route. So it includes the pickup and the drop-off point. Okay? Now, some of my students say comprise, but if you want to use comprise, it needs to have the word of. Comprise of. These two words need to come together. Cannot just comprise. Okay? Due to this program, 28,000 kg of bread is dashed from the bins every month. Executes. No, cannot be execute because we are looking at how the delivery route has these two things. The bread runner executes the route. Okay? Execute the process. But we are looking at the delivery route, which is non-human. So the delivery route cannot execute things. Okay, IDK? Okay, very fast. Those Adrian and Islam. Due to this program, 28,000 kg is saved from the bins every month. Okay? So it should be past tense, not present tense, Adrian. Over dash, the bread runs did encounter disruptions in their daily operations. Okay, some bakeries did not have enough bread. They were sold out in the day and they were unable to make it for the routes. Yeah? Okay, yes, over time. Because we are looking at these different events. Okay, there are at least two different events mentioned in the text. Islam, if you want to use years, it must be over the years. Cannot be over years, okay? The years. Can? But the idea is there. Okay, you just need to know what is the correct word to choose. Very good. Adrian and IDK. Okay, they do not have enough bread to donate. Dash, they were sold out for that day, or in some cases. Okay, sold out for the day is my cost. And the effect is not enough bread to donate. So in order to link them, I'll say as or because. Very good. Okay, a few of the bakery partners had also dashed operations due to economic slowdown. So that means they closed down, they closed shop, right? But you cannot say you close the operation. Very clear. Operation means, okay, abandon. You cannot abandon your operation. Okay, for this case, the answer will be you cease or you discontinue operations. Okay, abandon is the idea that you run away from something. But in this case here, my bakery partner never run away from his shop. He just closed down the shop and stopped selling bread only. Okay, so the word used is not correct. Involved or included. Are you looking at which one? Number 65, is it? You cannot involve or include the operations here. Take note, my keyword is economic slowdown. That means, the bakery maybe is not doing well. Nobody's buying the bread. So in order not to lose money, I will stop the operation. Okay, so it cannot be include or involve. I'm looking at how I don't want to continue selling bread. This action. Okay, therefore, if you look at my answer, stop, cease, or discontinue operations. Can follow so far, guys? Okay, very good. Then for our afternoon session, we will stop here for a bit. Let me rest my voice a while before we continue our TikTok. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, especially our friends Islam, IDK, Grace, Gracie Lam, Grace Beauty. Yeah, those few of you, Adrian as well, and also who's that? Bailey or Bailiu, is it? Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Okay, I'm gonna have a short break, and at about 4:45 we'll come back, or 4:50. Okay, we'll come back. Then we will look at another paper, P6 paper as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm teacher Nathan. So thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed talking to you guys online and helping you guys learn. Okay, bye bye.